Then today, inshallah, we are going to continue the lesson 510, which is talking about transformations. And as I said, which type of transformations we are going to study this year? Which type of transformations we are going to study this year? Who can tell me?
I miss me.
Yes?
Translations, rotations, and reflections.
Translation, rotation, and
Reflection.
reflection. Okay. We started already yesterday with what? We took an idea about yesterday. What about which part? Huh. About translation.
Translation.
Translation. Okay. A function f of x is called parent function. Do you remember? We said yesterday that we have parent function. So what is the parent function? The parent function is f of x equal x. Okay, then f of x equal x. This is called parent function. For the family of linear function, changing the y-intercept will shift the line up or down. This is called translation. So if we want to talk about the translation, we will note that we are going to shift the line or the function up or down according to the y-intercept. If I will give you a bunch of functions, like the first example which we have it here, first graph is f of x equal x, second g of x equal x plus 2, and h of x equal x minus 4. Describe the transformation. First, what do you note about the slope in this bunch of functions? How many functions do you have in the first example?
3.
3, right? We have 3 functions. What is the slope in all these functions? For the first one,
They're the same.
they are the same. And each one equal how many?
1.
1.
Each one equal 1. So the first function was f of x equal x. The second, g of x equal x plus 2. Third, h of x equal x minus 4. So at the beginning, we are going to check the slope. We will note that the first one, it has a slope how many? First one, it has a slope
1.
how many?
1.
Equal 1, right? Will second one, the slope equal 1. Will third
1.
one, the slope equal 1. So this one, which type of transformation? It will be translation. So this one, it will be translation. Okay, and what is the difference between the 3 functions? A parent function f of x, once you will represent it graphically, you will find it will be a line passing through the origin. All of them are linear functions. We said that we are going to study transforming linear functions. Then all of them, they will be a line when you will represent it graphically. So first, the parent function, it will pass through the origin point. Is there anyone don't know how he can represent it graphically? Is there anyone don't know how he can represent it graphically? Huh? We have different methods. You can use the y-intercept and then rise over run. Then, for example, the first one, we don't have y-intercept, so we will start from 0. After that, x means what? 1 up, 1 to the right, 1 up, 1 to the right, and so on. G of x, the starting point is 2. So we will go directly and we will stand on 2. And after that, 1 up, 1 to the right, 1 up, 1 to the right, and so on. The last one, h of x, we will start from -4 and we will use rise over run, 1 unit up and 1 to the right. Then after we finish, we will note that they are parallel. They are parallel, which means they are, يعني, which transformation? It will be translation. Describe the transformations. Then first you represent them graphically, and you note that they have the same slope and they have different y-intercepts. So this is a translation. If you want to describe the function, then the parent function, it was at the middle. If it's x minus 4, you shift it down 4 units. If it's x plus 2, you shift up how many units? How many units?
2 units.
How many units up?
2
2.
2 units.
2 units.
Okay, yes. Then this is if you want to explain or if you want to answer by using the translation. Let's move to the second type. G of x equal f of x. G of x equal 4x. H of x equal half x. What do you notice? What do you notice, grade 9?
Different slopes.
Different slopes, yes, different slopes. Then if you have different slopes, which means this is a rotation. This is what? Rotation. Could you please tell me the slope for each one? The slope for the first one is how many? Yani, which one?
1.
M1 equal how many? Equal 1. What about M2?
4.
4.
4. Yes. What about M3?
Half.
M3 equal half.
Half.
Okay. Where is the parent function?
F of x equal x.
F of x equal x, which the first one is the parent function, right? Then in this case, you have 4 and you have half, right? For the parent function and f of x, g of x equal 4x. What happened to the slope? What happened to the slope? Yani il4, it will be greater than 1 or less than 1?
Greater
Greater than 1.
1, right? Then if the slope is greater than 1, so we are going to say that this one is steeper. It's closer to the y-axis. Do you see the y-axis? Do you see the y-axis? When you have g of x equal 4x, which means the slope becomes bigger than the parent function, so we will say that this one, it will be steeper.
Steeper.
And vice versa. If the slope is less than 1, then we will say that this one is less steeper. So which transformation? This one is rotation. Changing the slope of a line will change the steepness of the line, and this is called rotation. Okay? If the slope is greater than 1, so we will say that this one is steeper. If it's less than 1, we will say that this one is less steeper. So how many types did we study till now?
2.
2. The first one is
Translation.
translation. What do you notice when you have a translation? Please, if you know the answer, raise your hand. If you know the answer, please raise your hand.
Up.
The y-intercept, it will be, if the y-intercept is positive, so the line will shift up. If the y-intercept is negative, so the line shift where?
Go down.
Shift down.
Down.
So we have a group of function or a bunch of function, and the parent function, it will pass through the origin. If we are talking about a translation, then all of them, they have the same slope, but with different y-intercept. And if the y-intercept is positive, so the line will shift up. If it's negative, so the line will shift down. Okay, let's continue. What about rotation? What about rotation? What do you know?
Different slopes.
Rotation. The rotation, they have different slope. And the parent function where?
They don't have y-intercept.
They don't have a y-intercept for the rotation, and they have different slope. If the slope is bigger than 1, which means the line, it will be
Steeper.
steeper. If it's less than 1, so the line, it will be less than,
Less steep.
okay? Let's move to the third type of transformations. When the slope of the line is multiplied by -1, the graph is reflected across the y-axis, and this is called reflection, which means if you have g of x equal 4x, reflect the graph. G of x equal 4x, and you want to reflect the graph, then you will multiply the slope by -1. So if it's 4x, it will become negative
Negative.
x. Okay? If it's 3x, so it will be
Negative 3x.
negative 3x. If it's negative 4x, it will be
4x.
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 Then once you want to make a reflection across the y-axis, a reflection across the y-axis, then we will multiply the slope by -1, or even if we will give you already the two functions, g of x equal 4x, f of x equal -4x, so you will recognize that this one, it will be a reflection across the y-axis. And then we will represent it graphically. And once you will represent it graphically, it will take the sign like cross. Did you see the figure in front of you now? Do you see the figure? Okay. And the y-axis is a line of symmetry. What's the meaning of line of symmetry, grade 9? In the meaning
It cuts it in half.
it's cut it in half. It's a straight line already, okay, which it will divide the figure into two equal half, or similar, or two congruent half, right? Then sometimes he's going to combine between more than one transformations. So we studied till now 3 types of transformations. The first one was translation. The second one was
Rotation.
and the third
Rotation.
and the third one is reflection. Reflection across what?
Y-axis.
The y-axis. Okay. So if you have a question like this, graph f of x equal x and g of x equal 2x minus 3. If describe the transformation from the graph f of x to the graph g of x. How we are going to describe a graph in this case? We have to look at what first?
Y-intercept.
Y-intercept, or we look at the slope first?
It's different because g of x have y-intercept, so we will stop on -3 and then rise over run.
Okay, you are talking about how we can represent it graphically, right? So first step, we have to represent it graphically. So for the first one, f of x equal x is the parent function, and for sure it will pass through the origin point. The second one, if I will start to represent it, so we will start, as you said, from the point -3, and then 2 up, and then 1 to the right. Now we graph it already. So we want to know the type of transformations. Then if we want to talk about the type, or to determine a type of transformation, we are going to look at the slope at the beginning. So the slope for the first one was f of x equal 1. So the slope was equal 1, right? And the slope for the second one is 2. What happened? What happened?
Increased.
Gx is steeper.
Right? So it will be steeper. Yes, gx, it will be steeper. Then first, we are going to compare between the two slopes. Second, in this one, the y-intercept for the first function was
0.
And for the second function was -3, which means the line shifted down how many units?
3 units.
3 units.
Okay, so it's a rotation and also translated 3 units after it has been rotated. So first, as I said again, the line rotated and becomes steeper and then shifted down 3 units, 3 units. Okay, then sometimes we have more than one transformation in the same question. Understood, grade 9? Understood?
Yes.
Okay. Each function below reflected across the y-axis. Write the function h of x to describe each new graph. We have a question here. F of x equal 5x. Could you please tell me the function which it will be reflected across the y-axis? 5x, f of x equal 5x. So if I want the other function, if it will be reflected across the y-axis, I'll check the people which they are raising their hands.
Negative.
Just a second, I want to check who's raising his hand. Yes, Hannah Hani. Hannah Yasser, I'm sorry. Hannah
It
Yasser.
will be multiplied by -1, so it will be 5x. -5x, sorry.
Negative 5x. Okay, thank you so much. So the second one, it will be negative 5x. What about the next question? G of x equal negative 9x. Raise your hand, please. I want to know who want to answer.
Mr. Harsh,
Yes.
I don't understand this part.
Who is talking, guys?
Jana.
Jana. Okay, Jana, with all my pleasure, honey. If we want to find, Jana, the new functions, if it's reflected across two y-axis, right? Then the first function is f of x equal 5x, right? If you want to find another function, it will be reflected across the y-axis, then multiply the slope by -1. So the second one, we can say if it's h of x, the new function, it will be equal 5 multiplied by -1 equal how many, Jana?
-5.
-5. So it will be negative 5x, and that's it. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
If we will move to the second one, could you please answer the next one?
Yes. -9
So f of x,
multiply.
just a second, f of x equal
Okay.
negative 9x, right? I want the new one,
Yes.
the new function. We can say g of
Okay.
x, for example.
Equal 9x.
Yes, equal 9x. From where you get 9x?
-9 multiplied by -1.
Thank you so much. Yes, negative 9 multiplied by -1. Okay, the last question. Abdurrahman Khalid, go on.
It will be fx equal -2
fx
equal -2 plus 7.
Thank you so much. So it will be -2x plus 7. We will not change the y-intercept, Ya Abdurrahman, right?
Yes.
Yes, because we are going only to multiply or the slope only by -1. Thank you. Let's move to the next question, guys. Here. Describe the transformation from the graph f of x to the graph g of x. Who will start? Debo. Debo, are you here? Abdurrahman Abu Talib? Sama? Okay, anyone can answer, please? Ahmed Uta, go on.
Yes.
Go on, ya Ahmed.
Question number 8. We'll have rotation وtranslation twins down.
Thank you so much. Then first, it's a rotation. The figure will rotate. From where you know the figure is rotated, ya Ahmed, and it will be steeper or less steeper?
Because the slopes is different and it's higher, so it would be steeper.
Thank you so much. Then the slope are different. It was 1 for parent function, becomes 4. 4 is more than 1, which means the figure, it will be steeper. And then we will shift it down. We will translate it down to units. Thank you, Ahmed. Thank you. Okay, next question. Farah Mahlab.
Yes, it's gonna be rotation and translation 3 units up.
It will be rotation. Rotation is steeper or less steeper, Farah?
Less steeper.
Less steeper. From where you know, ya Farah?
Because the original one, the slope is 1, but
Yes.
the second one it's 0.25.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes. Then the first one, the slope is x. The slope was 1, becomes half, which means it will be less steeper. And after that, the figure will shift it up or down, ya Farah?
Up.
Up. How many units?
3.
3. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, the next question, the last one, f of x equal 2x, g of x equal x plus 8. What happened in this one? What happened in this one? 2x and then becomes x plus 8. Who can answer the question? What do you notice about the slope? It was 2x and then
Decreased.
what happened to the slope? You have different slopes, right? Different slope.
Yes.
Different slope, which means
Rotation.
steeper or less steeper?
Less steeper.
Less steeper.
It was
This is steep.
becomes 1. And after that, plus 8 means?
Translation.
8
Translate
points up.
8 points.
8 points. We shift up or shift down?
Up.
Check up.
Shift up or shift down?
Check
Up.
up.
Up. Okay. What about the last one? F of x equal negative 5x and then g of x equal x.
It's rotation.
It's a rotation.
And
Steeper
it's
or
more steeper.
steeper?
Less
Steeper.
It was negative 5 becomes 1.
Steeper.
Steeper. So it will be a steeper. Yes. Okay. Now, please, I want to graph this one. Question number 1. Graph f of x equal x and g of x equal x plus 3. Then describe the transformation from the graph of f of x to the graph g of x. And this one, how we are going to graph the first one, and what do you not, or what, how can you decide the type of transformations in this question? F of x equal x, g of x equal x plus 3. So please answer it. Now answer it and send it to me in our group. Answer it and send it to me in our group, please. I want from question 1 till question 4. Print screen and send it to me. I'm waiting, and we have the top 5 in our class today. Did you take a copy?